An extended version of that interview with Deputy Commissioner Grant Stevens is on our website. Now, with job cuts and a CEO's salary of $4.75 million, Australia Post has delivered ugly headlines. And as Leah McLennan reports, a Senate inquiry has also examined the relationship between Australia Post and the thousands of small businesses that run much of its retail arm.
We love our LPO, and I think you'll find if you go to any LPO operator, we're all in the same boat. We think it's terrific. We have great customers, we have a great customer base. You can see from the cards behind that these are our customers. And they go overseas and they think of us as send us a card.
Steve Jones runs an LPO or licensed post office at the Adelaide Airport. The post office side of his operation is mostly business mail. But he says it's coffee that's paying the bills.
We're subsidising Australia Post from our cafe and from any other sources that we glean, which keeps the whole thing operating. And the reason we do that, obviously, is we believe that the government can't be that silly to think that they will have a viable commercial postal service if they don't make changes.
Around 80% of Australia Post's retail business is done through licensed post offices. They're effectively small businesses where the owner is licensed to offer Australia Post products and services. Across Australia, there are around 2,900 LPOs, compared with 760 Australia Post-owned corporate outlets. Many licensees are saying what were once profitable businesses are now on the verge of going under.
I have invested into this business and I'm lucky to make $10 an hour. And the vast majority of licensees are working maybe 60 to 70 hours a week. And if they make $10 an hour and cover their expenses, they are very lucky.
It's difficult times for postal services around the world. In the UK, a majority of the Royal Mail has been privatised. The US Postal Service is losing money, is threatening to close thousands of small regional post offices, and has shed tens of thousands of jobs. Australia Post still turns a profit, but its letter delivery service is in severe decline, and the company says gains in parcels aren't enough to make up the shortfall.
Last year, we lost $218 million in our regulated letters business. In this financial year, that loss will grow to around $350 million. Under current momentum, with letter volumes expected to fall by 8 to 11% through to 2020, the loss in our regulated letters business will soon grow to around $1 billion a year.
Angela Cramp owns 3 LPOs in New South Wales. She chairs a group of LPO licensees who are lobbying Australia Post to change its business model.
We have provided a lot of submissions to Australia Post about how we need to change this business, and they have all been rejected out of hand. We are not sustainable the way it is going, and we have no choice but to take action. This is the largest franchisor in the country, running their franchisees into the ground to pay a dividend to the government and senior executive bonuses. That is not a good look.
Amongst the things the LPO group wants is an increase to what's called the representation allowance. This allowance is currently $770 a year, but LPOs say representational work such as answering customer queries might take 2 to 3 hours a day. They want more than the current rate of 29 cents to deliver parcels. And they want to restructure the way they are paid to deliver mail to post office boxes. Currently, they get $20 a year, regardless of whether the box receives one letter or thousands of parcels in that time.
We have thousands of people every day going through post offices in communities across the country. They do not exist on a digital mailbox or email. There is millions of people who just don't even have a computer. They need the post office. That's where they interact. And you take a post office out of a country town, like, you may as well fold up.
Earlier this week, Australia Post released new initiatives it says will strengthen retail businesses in rural and regional Australia. They include upgrading manual processing systems to electronic ones, increasing the minimum guaranteed annual payment for LPOs, and increasing the representation allowance. That's on top of other measures taken earlier this year.
We got the stamp price increase, we accelerated the payments, we introduced the new post office box fees, and we've introduced the My Post account. Therefore, tangible examples of money in the pocket to support them.
A federal Senate inquiry has been running since December last year, looking at Australia Post's relationship with licensed post offices. In its interim report, it found that many LPOs' fight for survival must be considered as a matter of urgency. LPO operators like Steve Jones are hoping the inquiry's final report will help them in that fight when it's released in August.
It's almost like a little village here in the airport, and we want to keep it. But the big question is whether or not we're going to be able to stay here, because we're not being paid in a fair and reasonable manner. We'd like to stay here longer, but we can't live on thin air. We have to be compensated for the work we do in representing Australia Post.
Liam McLennan with that report. Families essay